Hello and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer, the Telly Savalas of board game review shows. Who loves your dice, baby? Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of acid-filled saliva, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Legendary Encounters, an alien deck-building game expansion from Upper Deck. In Legendary Encounters, an alien deck-building game expansion from Upper Deck, up to 5 players once again are going to go ahead and try their luck taking on that evil queen and her evil alien minions. Essentially, ladies and gentlemen, this game brings a lot of new content to your base game. Of course, you are going to get, more cards, more characters, and avatars that you can use to play in this game. You're going to get new scenarios. You're going to get kind of the new stuff for the various decks that you're going to go through, that you're going to play through, again, from the movies. You're going to get all sorts of fun and interesting and kooky things with this game. The game introduces some new concepts, new keywords, and some of these things we've seen before in the Firefly, Legendary Encounters Firefly game. For instance, you've got kind of ranged attacks. These are aliens that can hit you from the complex instead of from the combat zone where they normally do. You've also got stationary aliens. Aliens just kind of stay right there, and the other aliens will kind of go around them rather than actually push them, as we see as they're coming down through the complex. But you do have some new things. For instance, one of the new things this game introduces is flying. Essentially, if something's flying, it actually moves above the complex to come at you. Little harder to kill, and a few little interesting surprises come along with them as well. But the basic thing, the main thing that this game introduces is, of course, the ability for one player to actively play against the others. Now, you had something similar to this, kind of the trader thing in the first game. There were some other little things you could do there with the alien in the first game, but this kind of really fleshes those ideas out, and it makes it a true all-against-one game. Now, while most characters, of course, are going to be playing the game as they always have, one character is now going to take on the role of the Alien Queen. Now, the Alien Queen gets her own player mat, and she's essentially got her own HQ and barracks, kind of like the other players do, but of course hers has various aliens that are going to try to attack the heroes throughout the game. Now, the alien player buys cards just like the heroes do, but from her own unique deck. And then, when certain cards come up, that allows her to attack the heroes in these different ways. For instance, if she has a card that says bite on it, then with her attack points, she can essentially bite one of the heroes. But her attack points has to equal or exceed the number of their kind of armor point on their avatar card. So if it kind of hits that number, then she attacks them. They have to draw a strike card. The Queen also has a grab ability. She can essentially pay for one of the cards in the HQ, the hero cards, with her attack ability. So she gets enough attack, she spends that like she's recruiting from the good guys HQ. She takes that card, puts it into her deck. Now, when that card comes up in her deck, then she essentially puts it in the complex. It's now kind of one of her minions there that's come out of the alien, and whatever the cost value of that card was is now the attack value for the heroes to, of course, knock it out and get it out of the game. You can hunt. Essentially, hunt allows you, again, to spend attack points in order to force a player to discard a card. You get to choose, the Queen gets to choose which card the hero will discard. He has to reveal his hand. She can choose which card he's going to essentially discard that turn. If the Queen gets a card that says Rush, essentially she can pay 5 attack points to add another card from the Hive deck to the complex, pushing everything along, because otherwise she doesn't do that. She's a character that does not add a card to the complex, but when she plays Hive, she can. Now, there are a few other rules, a few other little things going on here and there, but basically that is what this expansion brings to your game of Legendary Encounters, an alien deck-building game. So I've got to tell you, I really like the concept. I really like the idea of a player playing the alien. And I like how they did it, where she has her own mat, she can buy her own cards, she can cycle through her own deck. I think that is brilliant. That is smart, and it's fun. It's fun and interesting. The various attacks she's got and the way they come up in your hand make for some good choices. How do you want to attack the heroes this turn? And conversely, if you're one of the heroes and somebody's playing that, it adds a new level of tension. And this is already a very difficult game. It's a very hard game. And knowing that it's not just the AI of the game, such as it is, but it's actually another human mind over there trying to think, how can I best screw you over, that really makes it even more tense. Now, I like it. But there's one thing you got to know. As I say, this game is already very, very difficult to win on its own. More often than not, I lose a game of Legendary Encounters, an alien deck building game, just normally. When you win, you get that sense of accomplishment because you lose more often than not. With the alien player, with the queen player, it makes it almost impossible for the heroes to win. I've not played a game yet where the heroes won with this mechanic. They even recognize this in the rule book. They kind of say maybe the humans should just kind of play for a score, see how far they can get, and score that. Okay, that's fine. I get that. To me, that was a little wonky. If you're playing to see what score you can get, maybe to beat it next time, it's If you're playing against somebody, there ought to be ways to. If you're doing the score thing, I don't know, a victory point system where you can still win. I don't know. That seemed a bit wonky to me. The idea of scoring it, but again, they realize it's so difficult, right? But I got to tell you, this game, half the fun is the journey. More than half the fun. You're not playing to win. You're playing to have a good time, and you will have a good time seeing how far you can get, as it is. What I'm trying to say is I really enjoyed this expansion. I thought it was fun. I thought it brought some fun and interesting new elements, and I love the idea of the queen and how she and her mechanics work in this game. It's a lot of fun. Now, the question is, should you buy this expansion? Well, if you're somebody who kind of casually plays this game, you like it, you get it out once in a while and play it, probably not. If you like the game, you just like the game, probably not. But if you're like me, if you love Legendary, and if you love Legendary Alien, which is my favorite incarnation of Legendary Encounters. I kind of like Firefly. Maybe I need to play Firefly a little bit more, but I still love Alien. It's so tense and so dramatic. And if you love this game like me, you will want to get this expansion. And you don't have to play with the Queen every time. You still get all these other great cards, these great characters, new strikes, and what have you, that I think it is worth your time. You do have a big battle at the end that I didn't mention with the Queen, which is also a lot of fun. It's just a solid expansion to a solid game. Frankly, one of my favorite games, and it's just fun. If you love the game, buy this expansion. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer. And ladies and gentlemen, when Legendary Encounters, an alien deck-building game, first came out, a friend of mine thought I said an Alan deck-building game. His name was Alan. And I said, no, it's an alien deck-building game. And he said, do you think they'd make an Alan deck-building game? And I said, no, I don't. I don't think they're going to make a game for you. Somebody